let's help a Japanese person like we usually do in these ERS episodes, okay? Today, the topic is iPhones.
皆さんこんにちは。毎日少しずつ社交に使える英語の上達を目指すソーシャルイングリッシュポッドキャストへようこそ。今日はぜひもっと自信を持って英会話してみましょう。Are you ready, Percy? Let's go!
Hey, Percy here. Welcome back to another episode of the Social English Podcast. And today we have an English Repair Shop episode. So at the Social English Podcast, you can listen to and learn a little social English every single day. And what we do here is we help you learn how to speak English by giving you examples, giving you new slang or common words used in English around the Americas and around the world. And also, I tell you what age group uses them. Also, we help people with their English. We help fix English, and we also look at mistakes Google Translate makes so that you don't make those same mistakes. But today we have an English Repair Shop episode where we are helping a Japanese person that is studying English with their English. They sent me a message, and then they wanted me to help them. So today we're going to look at what they sent me, and we're going to talk about it on the episode, okay? So first I want you to listen to this.
すべての英語修理店のエピソードと同様に4つのパートがあります。パート1では英語を勉強している日本人が間違っていったことを正確に聞くことができます。パート2では会話型のソーシャルイングリッシュスタイルで正しい英語を聞くことができます。パート3ではパーシーはあなたが同じ過ちを犯さないようにするために彼が重要だと考えるヒントをあなたに与えます。パート4でパーシーは正しい英語版を高速で自然な速度で言います。このようにしてネイティブの速度で英語を聞く練習をすることもできます。
Okay, so after you've listened to that, you know that we have 4 parts. Part 1, I'm going to give you the incorrect English from the person, what they did wrong. Actually, I'm just gonna say exactly what they sent me in the wrong English, and then the second part, I'm going to give you the corrected English version in a social English style, the way that people using social English, like real conversations, the way they would say this, so that way you can listen to it. And then I'm going to give you my hints, tips, tricks, so you don't make the same mistakes yourself, and you can learn how to not do that. And then the last part, I'm going to talk in a fast, fluent English speed, which we'll see. Maybe I didn't do that last episode, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's go through that. Let's go through that for today's episode. So let's look at our example today. Okay, so for today's example, we have this here. Okay, we're talking about iPhone. So part 1, let's get started. This is the wrong English. Please listen. Kite kudasai. I just found that my Apple Watch hasn't charged at all because I forgot to plug in the other end of the cable before I fall asleep. Unfortunately, it happens once in a while. Okay, so not too bad English there. A couple little mistakes. Let me go through it. Let me read it one more time for you so you can get another, just another look at what this, might sound like. Okay, so let's go into that real quick. Okay, I just found that my Apple Watch hasn't charged at all because I forgot to plug in the other end of the cable before I fall asleep. Unfortunately, it happens once in a while. Okay, so that's that. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go into let's see here. I'm going to give you the correct English version. Okay, so that way you can listen to what it should sound like. And let me go through it real quick. Okay, so please listen to this. I'll do this at a slow speed so you can hear it clearly and slowly. Okay, let's do this. I just realized my Apple Watch hasn't been charging because I always forget to plug in the other end of the cable before I go to sleep. Unfortunately, what can you do? This happens once in a while. I realized my Apple Watch hasn't been charging because I forgot to plug in the other end of the cable before I go to sleep. Unfortunately, this happens once in a while. Okay, I just wanted to give you kind of a more, basically a better way, a clearer way to talk about how to say that in English before I went on. Also, I used a couple of different ways of how to say this. So let's go back in here for part 3. These are my hints, tips, and tricks to help you. Let's check this out. What can we do here? How can we make this better? How can we remember not to make the little small mistakes? Okay, so let's go here. Okay, so you want to say, I just found that. Let's replace that with I just realized. So I found that. When you say I found that, the first thing is we think you lost your Apple Watch. So it's better to use I just realized. I just realized that my Apple Watch hasn't been charging. Okay? Hasn't charged at all should be changed with hasn't been charging. Okay? And that's the second hint is hasn't been charging. Okay? Yeah. So, and then some of this is okay. I forgot to plug in the other end of the cable before I fall asleep. Now, the problem with this is you said you want to use I forgot to plug in the other end of the cable before I fell asleep, because we're using past. When you say forgot, you're using past. So you can't use fall the way you used it here because it's present. It's present. So you want to match them. You want to say, if you want to say, I always forget to plug in the other end of the cable before I fall asleep. That's okay. Okay. One more time. That is, I always forget to plug in the other end of the cable before I fall asleep. That's okay. Okay. But if you say I forgot, you want to say fell. Okay. Now, unfortunately, this happens once in a while. That's cool. You could say that. That's no problem there. You know, if you want to say that, that's cool. That's no problem there. I don't see a problem with that. In other words, if you were to say this to someone in English, a regular, normal, native English speaker, or had a conversation, this would be okay for you to use. Okay, so don't worry. You'll be all right. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Actually, that's the last one. So let's move on to the next part. The next part is I'm going to say everything again in fast English. Okay, fast, normal speed. Hopefully you can listen carefully. Okay, so you can learn. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, I just realized my Apple Watch hasn't been charging at all because I forgot to plug it into the other end of the cable before I fell asleep. Unfortunately, this happens to me once in a while. I just realized that my Apple Watch hasn't been charging at all because I forgot to plug it into the other end of the cable before I fell asleep. Unfortunately, this happens to me once in a while.
この章を気に入っていただけたら、5つ星のレビューをぜひお願いします。コメントは英語か日本語でお書きいただければ喜んで読ませていただきます。realsocialenglish.com にアクセスしてぜひ無料でダウンロードしてください。ほとんどの日本人の英語を勉強している人がやってしまいがちな7つの間違いとその正しい言い方。また、毎日英語を上達させるのに役立つ資料もたくさんあります。Apple Podcast、Google Podcast、Stitcher、そして今はパンドラでもポッドキャストを購読いただきます。支援者になっていただけませんか？私たちがこの賞を作るための支援として5ドルの寄付をお願いできませんか？今後のエピソードで感謝の気持ちをお伝えします。また、そこでしか利用できない新しいコンテンツも入手できます。patreon.com/socialenglish からご参加ください。ソーシャルメディアで私たちのポッドキャストを友達にシェアしたり、Twitter、Facebook、Instagram のフォローをお願いします。
Okay, so that's all for today's episode of the Social English Podcast. Now, today's action item, I want you to talk about your iPhone or your smartphone, Samsung, Galaxy, whatever, Note. Talk about your phone, and do you have any problems? Do you drop it a lot? Do you lose it? Do you misplace it? Just talk about it. You could say something like, I always drop my iPhone. I always lose my Samsung Galaxy. I hope not, but I want you to make up a small, short story, have a conversation, practice with a friend, so that way you guys can understand different ways to talk about your smartphones, okay? And also, don't forget to hit that like button. Hit that like button so more people can see video like this. It really helps the channel, okay? I appreciate if you do that for me. Other than that, you can always get more help from us at realsocialenglish.com, as was mentioned before. I will see you in the next episode. Peace and love. Hikari, take us out.
今日は楽しい時間をありがとうございました。ぜひ私たちのウェブサイトrealsocialenglish.com を訪問して日本語訳と役立つ情報を手に入れてください。また次回お会いしましょう。バイバイ。See you next time. Bye bye.